Now, Wolfenstein: The New Order was one of the surprise hits of last year. I mean, everybody loves the Wolfenstein series, but I don't think anyone was expecting such a cliched game to be so much fun. Bethesda realized that perhaps it's a good idea for us then to release kind of a standalone, I don't know, want to say that it's DLC. Well, I guess it is, but it's a standalone game called Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, and it's set in 1946, so before the events of the Wolfenstein: The New Order. So it's basically you take the place of B.J. Blazkowicz, you're infiltrating Castle Wolfenstein itself. And so it goes into a little bit more of the occulty stuff that we're used to from the series. There's a lot of talk of King Olaf and King Otto and stuff from like 1,000 years beforehand. So it really covers a lot more of that, what we're used to, running through castles, a little bit of the supernatural elements and a lot of the steampunky kind of stuff. But it's very much the same game. So you're running around, you can either shoot in a lot of places, like go in all guns blazing, dual wielding, going nuts, or you do the stealth where the knife instantly ragdolls people, which I still find hilarious. Someone's casually walking down the stairs and you throw a knife at them, then they just ragdoll and they just hit the ground, and it's great fun. But I guess that's probably going to come down to how much you're going to enjoy this game. It's not a full price title, which is the one thing in its favor. So it's not expected that it's as long as the campaign of Wolfenstein: The New Order was, which went for ages. This you can probably wrap up in about 8 hours if you play through it pretty quickly, but there's lots of little nooks and crannies. There's more of the old school Wolfenstein maps, the dream sequences that were in The New Order. So a lot of the things that the last game did well, they've carried on into this one. The thing that you're either going to really enjoy or really not enjoy is the fact that it doesn't do a lot that's new. The only main new mechanic is the climbing mechanic. You can climb up certain walls that have like porous rock in them. So that's like the only new mechanic in any meaningful sense. Later on, some things change, but when it's all said and done, a lot of the gameplay stays the same. Again, it does change a little bit later, but it is very much the same thing. So if you played Wolfenstein: The New Order, really enjoyed it, thought it was fantastic, and you want a little bit more of that kind of thing, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood's pretty good. However, as a standalone title, it's still a pretty good game. 8 hours of solid gameplay, a lot of the kind of love and attention that it had before. The cliches grate a little bit more. Like Wolfenstein: The Order was great in spite of its cliches. This, they just grate a little bit more. But that said, as far as it goes, it's still a really, really interesting addition to the Wolfenstein franchise.